famous answers in international beauty pageant is world peace. And along with the idea of world peace is the concept of security. We may be asking too much, but more will also be demanded from us. Our country is considered as the first Christian nation in Asia. And yet, in spite of our earnest effort to establish peace and security, the number of women being raped and slain is increasing. Thieves, murderers enter our houses. Politicians ambush in broad daylight for curbing corruption. Journalists massacred for speaking out the truth. Children murdered by their own parents. Innocent civilians becoming casualties of war. And rebels who care for nothing but themselves. These occurrences are happening. And every day, their numbers are on the rise. As a citizen of this country, are you not disturbed? Have you ever asked yourself, what could be the root of all these heinous and inhumane activities? Where did these start, and why have they continued to thrive? God created us to love one another as we love ourselves. Yet, even in the beginning, when sin entered the world, strife between people was born. And so Cain murdered his brother Abel. Taken from the book of Genesis, was the first recorded time. And as generations passed, many lives continued. Let's cite one example. The so-called golden years of the Philippines during the dictatorship of the late former President Ferdinand Marcos was indeed productive. Except for the fact that lives of innocent people were sacrificed as they fought for peace and security. The rampant crimes in our country couldn't be taken against one person only, but to every one of us. What kind of programs were our television shows? To what kind of images and songs are our children exposed? The MTRCB, which is supposed to be in charge of filtering programs presented in our television screens, appears to have forgotten the values we Filipinos hold dear, that of propriety and delicadeza. And nowadays, at the advent of the internet, many of us have become endorsers and, at the same time, victims of greed and lust, resulting to some becoming perpetrators of awful and sometimes unimaginable crimes. So who's to blame? We ask. As it usually turns out, majority of our nation's citizenry would point to our government. They throw stones at our public servants, demanding solutions to the rising problems of diminished peace and security in our country. As it was before, a big share of our national budget goes to the armed forces, the protector of the citizen. Yet, I leave a question for you to answer. Why is it that there seems to be no change in our country? Let us not forget the fact that every one of us has a choice. Always have, always will. Parents have a choice not to let their children watch violent movies, which encourage people to harm one another. For each one of us, we are entitled to make a stand for what we believe. Do we still uphold our Christian faith or values that have been passed for generations? Or are we gripped with the greed of flesh and material things? It is a choice. For a strong country is made of citizens who take initiative, who need not ask what their government can do for them, but ask themselves, what can I do for my country? Ladies and gentlemen, may God